The Apple Watch SE is by far the best Apple Watch that I think available in the market for all consumers. And there's a lot of reasons why. Not only is there a couple of unique editions available for even just the series, the Apple Watch SE, I should say, because there's the regular Sport SE, which comes available in space gray and silver body. But then if you want to opt for the Nike edition, that is also available. And the differences between these two is with the Nike edition, you get a Nike logo on the back and you get access to exclusive Nike style themed Apple Watch bands that are not available for the regular SE. But with the SE, you do have the ability to customize the watch band with other Apple watch bands available on their website in their custom studio. Now there is two screen choices to choose from on the SE. So you have the ability to choose between the larger 44mm, which is the one I'll be featuring in this video. And yes, this is the space gray body, but you can always opt for the smaller screen, which is the 40mm. The OLED display found on the SE Apple Watch still is by far one of the best smartwatch displays available in the market, excluding the Series 7, which is larger display. Here's the side-by-side comparison between these two. Just the Series 7 has the edge-to-edge look as well as a 1mm larger display, but the cost saving between these two, including the hardware and some of its feature, isn't really a worth buying investment compared to the SE, because one of the features that the SE does lack is the always-on display hardware. But I know personally some friends who actually have an Apple Watch that supports always-on display, but they personally prefer having it turned off, because in today's day and age, in this market, Apple smartwatches in general are still by far the best smartwatches available in the market, because the gesture controls is just extremely accurate, as it has the best gesture movements and detection compared to any smartwatch. It's always responsive, and with hands-free Siri, you can always just raise your wrist and request Siri to do whatever you like to ask it, like the ability to open up a web browser URL. Yeah, it does that even on the SE Apple Watch. Now there is an LTE version you can always get for the SE. This is typically perfect if you have your kids in school and you want to have good ways to you could actually monitor your kid and know their location, as well as have the ability to quickly get a hold of them, and vice versa. There is family time mode that the SE supports. So this being an inexpensive smartwatch, you can always just get the LTE version. And then in terms of safety feature for the elderly, you have fall detection. The SE does have fall detection. So if you're an elderly person or you just happen to get seriously hurt and you're unconscious, your watch will actually detect a hard impact fall, get a hold of emergency dispatchers to your marked location, as well as get a hold of the people you have selected to be a part of your emergency contact list. They'll receive a text message notification with a link that'll take them to your exact spot. So the SE does indeed have that feature, and also has some health monitoring features too, like the ability to constantly track your heart rate level. It'll notify you if you detect something out of the ordinary, so you can get that looked at before it gets worse. And then of course you have sleep tracking, which the SE once more does support, just like the latest flagship Series 7 Apple Watch. It is water resistant and also has all-day battery. In other words, just like your smartphone, you just need to charge this thing once every night or so. Now, this being a budget Apple Watch, the SE, the materials are top notch. If you look back here, all the edges are smooth, and the Apple even lists the materials that they use on the edges, as this is an aluminum chassis that it has with a mixture of a ceramic case and xenon glass, as you see here. So this being an entry-level Apple Watch, it's using high-quality materials. And yes, the heart rate sensor you see back here is indeed the latest heart rate sensor available right now for any Apple Watch, which means its internal is using the latest tech as well. So it's still the ultimate fitness tracker in terms of monitoring your outdoor runs, your heart rate, calorie burn, steps. Also has a altimeter, so it can monitor the height and such if you're going out for a hike, if you're climbing up some mountains and such. And yes, it does have built-in GPS, and it does support navigation with the Apple Map app, which it is indeed integrated even on the SE. You can set direction if you're a cyclist. So if you're navigating through a city like San Francisco, your Apple Watch will actually give you turn-by-turn directions while you're walking or cycling through the city. And then once more, this being a budget-friendly smartwatch, it is neck and neck. The performance, the speed is on par to the latest Series 7 Apple Watch, because in case you weren't aware, the SE Apple Watch, its chipset actually is the same chipset that was found on the Series 5 Apple Watch, and that chip was also available for the Series 6, and some say even is the same chip that is currently found on the latest Series 7. Apple hasn't yet increased performance, but honestly, it's able to multitask, open up apps, close apps perfectly fine. Now the SE, unlike the Series 3, which still is available in the market, but I don't recommend picking that one up. Yes, although it's slightly less expensive, but that one really is missing the important features, because this also has some of the stuff that you expect to find on the premium Apple Watch, like the Series 5, 6, and 7. The digital crown you see here actually does give you a haptic feedback, so it makes using the digital crown extremely satisfying, especially when you're trying to pinpoint the exact sweet spot. So it has like the mechanical click feel. Not sure how Apple was able to achieve this, but the SE actually has this, and it's really satisfying. Again, really impressive for a budget smartwatch. Of course, you have other smartwatch capabilities, like the ability to reply to text messages, answer calls, as it does have a really good microphone, as well as a really loud speaker, perfect for outdoor calls if needed. And then in terms of software innovations, hand washing support, it does have the ability to start a 20-second timer as soon as the watch detects that you're washing your hand based off its internal sensors. You have the ability to unlock your smartphone with your Apple Watch with the Face ID mask and such, as well as the ability to unlock your Mac computers with your Apple Watch. It has all of that. Apple Pay, Apple Fitness, AirPod Pro controls where you can actually toggle between the different modes off your wrist, as well as the Apple Remote, so you can actually control your television off your smartwatch in case you can't find your smartphone. So yeah, all that and more. This watch is really loaded, which is why in today's day and age, I still say that the SE is still the best value Apple Watch available in the market compared to something like the latest Series 7 Apple Watch. That watch typically retails for $430, where you can actually find an SE roughly around the 300s. It typically fluctuates in price because it's always on sale. And the only thing that's missing compared to the Series 7 is obviously the larger display with the edge design. But from an exterior point of view, both still look identical, honestly. It looks like an Apple Watch, which is what Apple has successfully accomplished between the Series 7 and the SE. But yes, you do lose the blood oxygen sensor, but most folks really don't need that unless you really have a critical health condition. Then yes, I'll strongly recommend just going with the SE if you need to constantly monitor your blood oxygen levels. And then the Apple Watch SE does not have a built-in ECG, which isn't really accurate, but it's a nifty tool to have in case you actually do need it. But besides that, the SE has the other important health sensor stuff. One's more like the heart rate sensor. Now, if you own an older Apple Watch, the bands you had previously for that Apple Watch are fully compatible to be used even on the SE, just so long as you have the correct size. So if you have a large Apple Watch, those large bands for that Apple Watch will fit the larger Apple Watch, and vice versa with the small Apple Watch. Those bands will fit the smaller size Apple Watch of that version you're using it on. So yeah, that is the review of the Apple Watch SE. Once more, you have every important thing that you really need for a nice, affordable price tag. If you guys enjoyed, got some good useful information out of this video, you know what to do. Really appreciate if you can actually leave this video a like, as those help me out a lot, and get subscribed, especially if you enjoy a lot of tech videos just like this. If you haven't yet picked up your Apple Watch, I'll be sure to include links in the video description down below, where you can go ahead and get yours. It is an affiliate link, which means it just allows me to continue making these informative videos for you guys. Because at the end of the day, I'm still just a consumer, and yes, I did indeed bought these smartwatches with my own money. Because at the end of the day, once more, I'm just a consumer. I just like to inform and show you guys if a certain product is good or not, as well as things you should consider. So if you'd like to see more, go ahead and check out this video over here, as I cover a bunch of third-party accessories that are compatible even for the Series 7 and the SE. They're the accessories I use primarily day to day. You may consider getting that alongside your Apple Watch. And then that video over there, that is just a video that YouTube's recommending specifically for you. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.